Hi guys, it's me. I wanted to do a video response to Aussie Witch's paranormal experiences. So yeah, I actually just did the whole freaking video in my camera, my other camera. I was using the other one and it just fucking sucks. So I decided to just redo it on this one. So anyways, um, okay, I'm trying to collect my thoughts here. I was thinking I have so many paranormal experiences. Like I did that video and then after it cut off, I went down and I was asking my husband, I'm like, I was asking him to go over all the paranormal experiences I've had, and we were talking about it, and I've had so many like little ones and then like a huge one. So I'm just gonna go over them briefly with you guys. So the first one I had was when I was like 8 or 9. I was living in Tennessee at the time, and in a country house that we had moved into. We used to live in town, and we finally moved out to the country. And I remember always seeing like shadows on the walls and stuff like that. And my parents, I'd get scared and I'd go in there and they're like, it's just probably this that's hanging in your room. Like I had a dream catcher and hanging from my ceiling, um, and stuff like that. So they would always blame it on that. And when you could tell the way it feels if it's paranormal or not. And it felt paranormal to me. So, and I didn't even know what that was. I was only 8 then. So, anyways, okay, another one from the same around time. I remember I was like 8 or 9, like I said, maybe 10, and I was falling asleep. And when you like lay down and you're falling asleep and you hear like a voice or something, and then you sit up and it was just you falling asleep. I know that does not happen just to me, so don't say I'm crazy. So, anyways, so I just said like 20 zillion times. Um, anyways, so I was laying down and I heard a little girl going, "Mama, Mama," but she was crying and it was like, "Mama, Mama," over and over and over again. And so I sat up and it was still there, very loudly, and it was like right outside my window, it felt like. And what I seen in my head, like when I pictured it, I just pictured this little girl sitting on a bucket, like right in our driveway, going, "Mama, Mama," and it wouldn't go away. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And so, I was so scared. I think I just put my head, the pillow over my head and just kind of, I don't know, I don't remember what happened. I just remember that happening. Mind you, we lived on 44 acres, 4 miles to anybody. Like you get hurt, you get screwed because there's nobody around. Um, but anyways, so that happened. Um, oh, let me tell you another experience about that time because I think I skipped this one in the last video, so that's good I redid this. Um, I remember I had been praying. This was like when I was in church still, I had been praying that I was like, I wanted to see an angel. So I had been praying to see an angel so much. And I had remembered I was sledding. We had snow that year for once in Tennessee. I was sledding down this huge hill and I was back by our pond, which I mean, there's like nobody around there. Nobody. It's like in the middle of the freaking woods. Like it's like our property. And I slid all the way down the hill and I was like laying in the snow. I was like 10 or 11 maybe. 9, I don't know, somewhere around that age. Somewhere between like 9 and 11. And I remember I was laying there in the snow and I'm like, "Oh, please, I just want to see an angel so bad." Well, as soon as I said that, or in my, I did I say that or pray that? I think I said it. And I heard a footstep right behind me in the snow, and like it creaked really loud, like it was like somebody right behind me. And then I heard a breath in my ear, and it was like in my ear, but it was like a high vibrational. I don't know how to explain it, but that's what I heard. So that was another experience I've had. Um, Another one, my dad died when I was 14, and we moved to Indiana. Um, I guess that's okay that I say that. I was just thinking I got a big mouth, but it's okay. Anyways, so we moved to Indiana then, and I had seen him with me, or not seen him. Now let me explain to you guys. When I say I see something spiritual, um, I see it in my third eye. Like I see it as in I know exactly what they look like. I know what they're doing. I know everything about them, like how they're feeling and everything. But I cannot physically see them. That's how I see in my mind though. But I can tell you exactly what they look like, exactly what they're wearing, everything. So anyway, so when I say that, that's what I mean. And then if not, I'll tell you differently because there's only been one time I've actually physically seen something. Um, but I mean, that was little. But anyways, so yeah, my dad was following me around a lot. Like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot this part too in the other video. He would be following me around and he was always with me and it was kind of nice, but sometimes it creeped me out a little. And you guys just talk, hold on a second, seriously. My lips are so freaking chapped. I'm about to just hold on. I'm sorry. I talked for like 23 minutes in the other video. Anyways, better. Burt's Bees, the best. Anyways, so, um, what was I just saying? Okay, my dad would follow me around a lot, and I always felt him with me, and sometimes it was kind of creepy and scary, but it was just like that was my dad, you know, and I didn't tell much people about him because, I mean, just kind of like sound like a fucking psycho. If you say, my dad follows me, you know, it just sounds stupid and creepy if you're not open-minded. And so I knew he always followed me around. And I remember this one time, at the time I was making out with my boyfriend in the car, and we were at this park, and the antenna of my car on the very, not the antenna, whatever, yeah, I think it was my antenna on the back of the car, it flipped, like something had hit it, like super hard, like somebody had thrown like a ball at it. This was in the middle of like the night. Nobody was around, nothing. Nothing had hit it. We got out to see what it was, and instantly I knew it was my dad. So that had happened, and there was nothing around. Like, we thought almost like a bird had hit it or something. No, it was my dad, and that's how I feel. Um, but around the same time, he had been like following me around so much lately. It was like it's been like all up in my bubble. Okay, he's like up in my Kool-Aid. So I remember I was laying down one time, and like I could always feel it. Like if my mom checked on me, she always checked on me before she would leave in the morning. And that's what I thought was, I thought she was checking me, like, Mom, go, you know, shut the door. And I turn over, and my door's open, but nobody's there, and my mom had already left. Nobody was at home. I knew it was my dad. And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm like, Dad, just shut the door, you know, but I don't know how to explain it, but I always felt him staring at me. And then I kind of got, like, fed up with it a little. I remember I was painting a room in that house. I was, like, actually painting the room. And he was, like, sitting, like, in the middle of the floor, in the middle of the room, just staring at me. And I'm like, you know, I'm just kind of, uh, I don't know. Anyway, so I told him, I said, Dad, you know, you need to realize, it got annoying because he was just staring at me all the time. And I said, Dad, you got to realize you're dead and you need to just stop and go because you're starting to creep me out. And I think that's exactly what I said. And I said it kind of bitchy. I didn't mean to, but it had been 14, 15, 3 years since he had died. It's hard enough to get over somebody that close to you died, let alone finding them. You know, it's like very hard to get over shit like that, especially when their spirit is following you around. Um, and so I told him that, and ever since then I haven't felt him with me. Ever since then, I remember I have talked about him a couple times, or have actually called for his presence, and I felt it vaguely, but like not vaguely, but well, you know what I'm trying to say. Like I felt it just a little, like he wasn't fully here, but he was aware of what I was saying. I don't know how to explain it, but so anyway, so ever since I said that, which I kind of regret sometimes, but other times it's kind of helped me move on a little. So that is another thing that's happened. Also around the same time area, um, I met this guy uh, who had taken me. I think I talked about this in my other video. He'd take me to meet this guy who was like into all this stuff, like witchy stuff. It was not what I do. It was not. It was what I had. It was not good. Whatever he did was not good. He was crazy, I think. Like, I don't know. I don't know if he was, like, possessed or what. I don't know what happened. All I know. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to go on the story. I went over to his house, and like I just told you how I see things. I seen it my third eye. I'm sorry, my dog. They just let my dog out. He's barking. So if that's loud and annoying, I'm sorry. So anyways, when I got to his house, the first time I ever met this guy, I had seen a girl in the corner of his like living room. Then there was like one by the TV, and then there was something in the kitchen. And I'm trying to think of how to explain it. It's been so long. But I remember I seen the girl, and she had like scraggly hair and like kind of like longish fingernails, and she was like kind of wearing like white raggedy clothes. I know it sounds like the typical whatever. This is what I saw. And before I had said anything, I didn't say anything. He said that he had 3 spirits that followed him around, and one was a girl, and he explained her just like I had just said. And I'm just like, holy shit. So, I mean, I don't make shit up like this. It's fucking stupid to make shit up like this. I'm very serious when it comes to stuff. I'm serious when it comes to anything. I don't lie about anything because I just think that's wrong. But, anyways, so I seen that and that in that house. Another thing that I had in the house that happened is like he would always tell us that he was like he would say little things like he was let me try to think. He would say things like he's like I'm a lot older than you think I am. And then he wouldn't think about it until later, and then he's like just trying to be creepy. And then I don't know, this guy is just weird. And then he would take us into the bathroom and he would like make some of our friends like look in the mirror and try to see spirits or whatever. And I never did. He was just kind of woohoo. But I know shit like that's real, but it was just like he was just I don't even know. Anyway, so we were at that house, and there's a lot of bad juju going on in that house. So, anyways, me and my friend were sleeping. Well, actually, we were bugging the shit out of everybody else trying to sleep. We were having a good time, just fucking around, and like we were like making whistles and stupid noises, trying to annoy people. But everybody was asleep, anyways. I think we were kind of tipsy. But my brother was sleep. Let me explain this house to you. It was like a small little house, but it was like an apartment type of thing. You walk in, and can you even see what I'm talking about? Okay, anyways, you walk in, and then there's like a big room, and there's like two little walls, and then the other room. So it's like this huge room, but just a little bit separated because it's so small. Then there was a bedroom, and then the kitchen in the back, and that was it. So me and my friend were sleeping in the first room, and then my brother was sleeping on the couch in the next room, which I'm talking like 8 feet from me. Okay, and me and my friend were playing around, just making jokes and shit. And then all of a sudden we both shut the fuck up and we were like deathly afraid. And he's like, "What the fuck was that?" And I'm like, "I don't freaking know what it was." But I had felt something enter the room and we both knew exactly where it was. It was between the coffee table and the TV. And we both had said that like where I think we did something to where we said at the same time where it was. So we knew we weren't fucking around, you know. So he knew I wasn't lying and I knew he wasn't lying. And we just said where it was and then we couldn't like we could move but we were like super scared. And I've never seen him scared. He's like a grown man, like grizzly man. So he was like, I don't know. So anyways, that had happened, and my brother's over here, and I'm freaking out. Like I don't know what the fuck to do because this thing feels like aggressive. I've never felt anything like that. I was so fucking scared. I've never been so scared. Like normally, I just kind of anybody who's had a paranormal experience, you understand what I'm saying because you just kind of get the heebie-jeebies, or you could tell something's present, or you could. This was freaking straight up fear. Like, oh my God. I was like, somebody's gonna die, is kind of how I felt. And he said something like, he's like, I mean, I don't think it was going to hurt us physically. I don't know. That's what it felt like, though. Like, he said he thought it was going to take a finger or something. So that happened. And then he said, I'm like, I didn't know what to do. It felt like there was like cold water going through my whole body, by the way. It felt like cold air, cold water going through my whole body. It was like that crazy feeling. And he, I guess he had asked it to leave. He was doing something. He did it quietly. He did it in his mind. And then all of a sudden, it felt like it had been ripped out of the room or down from the room. Just felt like it just was gone, but it felt like it left a hole in the room. Um, like almost like if you were just to poke a hole in a piece of paper, like pull that piece of paper out. That's what it felt like. It was like a hole left in the room. It was crazy. Um, the craziest feeling I've ever had. I was so scared for my brother at the time. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that thing was that close to him. But that happened. That was a freaking crazy ass one. The worst feeling ever that I've ever, well, close to the worst feeling. Then let me think. What else? Um, my brother's house. I can tell you a little bit about that. About his house. His house used to be haunted. Um, now I'll tell you. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but see, I don't even know how to try to tell the story. I tried to tell the story in the last video, and then I just kind of just like said, fuck it, I won't tell it because it's just too much. Um, there was, oh my God, let me collect my thoughts. Okay, so my brother's house, he said little things started happening. I forget, oh, I know the first thing that happened. I was actually staying at my mom's, and he had come in the middle of the night crying, that there was a poltergeist. We were raised Pentecostal. If you say poltergeist, you freaking get your Bible and start hitting people with anointed oil and shit. So, we were like freaking out. And at this time, I was dabbling. I was into tarot and I was into stuff like that and crystals and stuff. And still had my Christian ties and everything. So when he told us that, we were like, I was like scared to death. Like, oh my God. He said what had happened was they pulled up to their house, and that foggy windows like that they have in the bathroom sometimes. It's like the foggy window you can't see through, but it's whatever. He said they saw something, they thought it was like their clothes in their laundry room, and then it turned into a human, or it turned into a figure, because they thought it was, they were like, oh, that's just clothes, and they looked closer and it started turning into a figure, and then it stuck its face through the window to where they could see it from their car. They hauled ass to my mom's, and then that's what happened. And so that's the first thing that had ever happened. And then we were looking at pictures of, because they had just moved in. We were looking at pictures of their house, and then there was like faces in every single window of the house. If you look closely, you can see them. Um, if I can find that picture, I will totally put it in this video. It was crazy. Or I will send a link to it, or maybe even put it on my my YouTube Facebook page, so you guys can look at it up close. If I find it, I will let you guys know in another video, or I'll put it in here, or put a link down there or something. But it's in my email somewhere, and I have so many freaking pictures in there. But anyway, so that is one. That's the first thing that ever happened with his house being haunted. And then things happened. They would wake up in the middle of the night at the same time, and their alarm clock would be all the way under their bed every morning when they woke up, and it would be off, or it'd be set to the wrong time or something. They would have to pull it out every freaking morning. That happened. My brother said he said that his wife would wake up like speaking in different, like, he said she was speaking in tongues. If anybody knows what that is by being Pentecostal, you know what I'm talking about, but it wasn't heavenly, I suppose. I don't know about that. That was what he said. So that had happened. I mean, of course I believe him, he's my brother. But they seen a little girl run down the hallway. And then we also have a picture. I wonder where that picture is, because I wish I could find it and show you guys. It's like a elongated orb, and let me think. It's like an orb, but it's elongated, and it's just like a flash of I don't know how to explain it. Oh my gosh, I hope I can find this picture and show you guys. Anyways, it looks like it has like bunny slippers on, and then it looks like there's another energy next to it. So we always thought it was a mom and daughter, because they had found out after all this shit had happened. They had asked their landlord, has anybody died here or something? Well, I guess 3 people died in the house. A mom died there. I think she killed herself after her husband had hung himself or something like that, and then oh my god, this is a long story. This is why I didn't even get into this one last time. I cannot tell stories. I guess the little girl had lived there with her grandparents after her parents had died. And all of a sudden, this is what my brother's landlord was telling him. All of a sudden, the little girl was gone, and then they said that they had sent her with family up north. Never heard from her again. And then they moved out. But the thing is that the grandpa was like a drunk or something. The guy the grandparents that were watching him, I guess they said he was a drunk. And my brother had went around to neighbors and stuff, and he's like, I never even knew they had family up north, all this crap, and she just disappeared. Well, another thing is when my brother moved into the house, their dogs had started digging up like hunks of meat from the yard, rancid meat, like these hunks of meat and like these huge bones that do not look animalish, they look more humanish. I don't know. I think my brother didn't want to think about it like that, and I don't think he really did anything to call the cops or anything like that. I don't really know I don't know, but I remember them digging in the back of their tree, like by their tree, and there was like a bunch of kitty litter, like a foot down, which is just fucking weird. Like a whole shitload of kitty litter. Like, what the fuck is that? I don't know if they wanted to. I don't know if he thought there's no way there could be a little girl buried back here. What? I don't know if he thought that, or if he just thought it was animals or what. But anyway, so I'm guessing he just thought it was animals. But I think differently.